This podcast is a production of Unfiltered Studios. If you would like to know more about joining Unfiltered Studios, please visit our website at unfpod.com for more information.
Hello all. I love covering all kinds of filmmakers, and in this case I figured instead of just talking about someone who is well known, how about we talk about a name that is for a character who doesn't actually exist. That's right, someone who, you know, has just been a name, a pseudonym, if you will, an alias, taken on by so many different movie creators, and it's happened everywhere. And doing research for this on not only just Fandom and Collider, but I love Plagiarism Today. They talk a bit about it. There's nothing better than just the Fandom article, especially, is hysterical. It's from 2018, saying, who is this person and why did he make so many terrible movies? But yeah, no, I am covering the one, the only Alan Smithee. And newsflash for those who probably already know, he's not a real person. But if I haven't already made that clear enough, but this was interesting to tell because, I knew it was, again, used by Kevin Yeager, the special effects turned creator, when he made Hellraiser 4 and Stu Interfered. Still a rather liked movie, but he didn't want to be associated with it because he had bad blood with the producers. I knew about Michael Mann, the director and writer of Heat, using that name when NBC had an edited TV version of his movie Heat, and he wasn't keen on his movies being edited, so he used that. But going even further down the rabbit hole, I had no idea. I mean, I knew about the pilot episode of MacGyver that was used. The director, again, was forced to strip 20 minutes from the cut by the head showrunners and producers, and again, not keen on it. So, this was even used on just other cartoons. There was the Mighty Ducks was a popular live action hockey thing, but then Disney did a TV show which was basically just actual ducks, but playing hockey and with a sci-fi tone, and they decided to, with that TV show version, to also edit episodes together and make a movie. And apparently the director of that episode wasn't keen on that and used an Alan Smithee. I saw there was even a highly rated season 1 episode of Tiny Toons that used it as well. And it just shows when you're just so close to it, sometimes you just, again, the damage is done. You don't want to deal with it. There was a movie with Charlton Heston, Corin Nemec, called Solar Crisis. It's kind of an infamous movie, but it's been reevaluated by some sci-fi people who compare it to Solaris and Blade Runner. And again, 3 different people worked on it, and ultimately the Alan Smithee name was used by the original director. So again, and thanks to Not a Bomb and even DeRazzled podcast, love you guys, I learned even more that I had no idea. I could have easily researched it, but I had no idea. And apparently the name just got out when Joe Esterhaas, that's right, the erotic and satirical mystery filmmaker, made a movie called Burn Hollywood Burn, an Alan Smithee film, and then he and the director and the studio did not get along in that, and then ironically they actually wanted to use the Alan Smithee name, and so that's when the Directors Guild forced it to never be used again. It's still, I've seen it pop up even as Alan Smithee the Third or Alan Smithee Jr. on direct-to-video made for internet and just other low-budget B movies. But I do find it interesting how, again, if people just disagree so much, they will go there. Apparently, even happened on the '80s Twilight Zone episode, Paladin of the Lost Hour. Once again, just the director thought the editing was a botch job, and director Joe Dante has even talked about this. But yeah, I mean, Martin Brest has also used this Alan Smithee as a red flag for, again, the TV version of his acclaimed movie, Scent of a Woman. So, I mean, it goes everywhere. And apparently I saw Michael Mann did it again with The Insider. And obviously, speaking of the Twilight Zone, we can't not mention the Like It or Hate It Twilight Zone, the movie, which, again, had just such a troubled production. And when John Landis was so unprofessional and, risked the lives of so many people, and which claimed the lives of a kid actor as well as the lead star, Vic Morrow, the assistant director felt disgraced because, again, they're supposed to be keeping track of safety like that, and the protocols, to be fair, it was a lost cause. Everyone was going to look bad because it was not well arranged on Landis's part of the set. But it was definitely one of those. Apparently there was even a third death that occurred as well. But yeah, Andy House was the second assistant director, and he was like, hey, I should be blamed for this. I'm going to do that. I've seen it also used apparently on other Westerns. One of the earlier ones is a 60s film called Death of a Gunfighter. And what's funny is it's noted for also, this is apparently the first, actually I take it back, this is the one where it was first used, and Roger Ebert loved it and praised the style while saying, hey, whoever this guy is, he's got talent. So it's just funny how so many people, this is before the internet, guys, but it's also before just word could spread around in letters, and it wasn't known. So people thought it was a legit person. And of the other stuff it's been used on, I saw it was used on a Kiefer Sutherland indie film. I don't know the history about it, but I thought it was a pretty mediocre comedy he did with Holly Hunter and Michael Moriarty, and maybe he disagreed on the final cut, but just doing there's been documentaries about it, none of them which I've seen. I've wanted to, but it's just so hysterical when I just see it pop up. And sometimes people do it deliberately nowadays, but obviously, again, it's not used by anything professional anymore. But I saw it was also used on Let's Get Harry, a very underrated war movie with Robert Duvall and Mark Harmon. Stuart Rosenberg quit. And, there's been some other just direct-to-video and other stupid comedies that I'll never watch, like Fatal Charm, Gypsy Angels. Everybody's got a reason to use it. Catch Fire, which was a dark hitman comedy with Jodie Foster and co-starring Dennis Hopper, and again, Hopper being his crazy self, didn't like that it had to change. Tom Holland, no relation to the actor, the Fright Night filmmaker, used it on a TV movie called The Owl, starring future Highlander star Adrian Paul. Mary Lambert of freaking Pet Cemetery fame used it on a Red Shoe Diaries episode. I think that makes sense. He didn't want to be associated with softcore porn. Hey, future stuntman turned director Rick Roman Wog. You might know him from just movies like Greenland and Angel Has Fallen, Shot Caller, and Snitch. He did a action crime movie with a bunch of B movie stars, and of course there's a lot of sleaze in it, so he probably didn't want anything to do with it. I saw it was used also on a Sarah McLachlan music video. It's like, good lord. You just can't escape it. If people don't want to be associated with it, they're gonna bitch. They're gonna, and I mean, personally, I would want to own it, because when I look at it nowadays, people are more mature now than they ever used to be. And for every other person who hates you for making that movie, there's going to be plenty of other people who said, "Hey, man, nice job." So I saw it was also used on the pilot for that Timothy Hutton mystery show and Nero Wolfe mystery. So, man, it was still being used in just other countries like Canada, and again, just low budget, non-union movies, or stuff that had been in the can for a while and was just now coming out. I saw it was even used on a porn called Streetwalkers Free. So there you go. Like, people take shit way too hard, and that's okay. That's their right. There's a C. Thomas Howell, Danny Trejo, Mad Bomber movie called Dilemma. So there you go. Just movies you gotta just have fun with, even when they're shit. But hey, that's their right. If they don't like it, they don't like it. I just find this funny, really. It's just very telling when a movie has just played its last dance and angered every person who's worked on it to the point of, it's unacceptable. We can't put up with it anymore. And these are the kind of stories that are just hysterical as a filmmaker, because we all know that in movies, if your name isn't Spielberg or Scorsese, it's hard to have as much control. And then other times it can be just illuminating on how just some films are just very, again, divisive. So it reminds me of just when there was even just multiple people who work on a movie, and just fortunately the power of editing, you didn't have to worry about it. But just looking around, it's even more hysterical how there's some obscure TV shows and even just other solid movies. Like there's a Mickey Rourke serial killer mystery from the 80s. I wasn't crazy about it, but a lot of people liked it. And called City Interference, same deal. Like, just the filmmaker disowned it, and probably because the studios that intervened. But hey, they can't all be winners, and you got to do what you got to do, I guess. But it's in that just gray area of just, what is the director saying to the suits? Do the producers even know what they want? Are they interfering with brilliance? It was also used on a Tom Fontana. You might know him from St. Elsewhere and Oz fame. He produced a TV pilot that starred Richard Dean Anderson. It didn't get picked up because apparently Richard Dean Anderson did not survive, but I found it a very intriguing TV movie. I would have watched the shit out of it back in the day. It had a big all-star cast, including Eddie Falco, Morris Chestnut, and all kinds of other New York actors and who've been on the Law and Order. So, I mean, again, so many different ways to make a movie. And again, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of movies on here that just sound fucking terrible, including Bloodsucking Pharaohs in Pittsburgh. But nowadays, when it's used, everyone's in on the joke and doing it just for an easy laugh, But I must commend anyone who can make a movie and get it done on time. I really don't think it has to be in use, but when it is used, oh boy, howdy, I am dying laughing. I am just guffawing. I just know that it's going to be a movie that divides people. And this was before people would take out a cell phone and ruin, catch a private conversation no one was supposed to know, and ruin the chances of a movie making any kind of profit, let alone being successful. And sometimes you just wonder, how much of it was just, it was a good film, but they were very unimpressed with the production or hated dealing with the talent. And maybe it was fine, but they found out after the fact it was somewhat different. So yeah, I mean, again, they can't all be winners, but I just find it interesting that it has to get to that. And it's been used lately mockingly by some people as an actor name. I don't understand that at all, but these are clearly done to be amusing because they're very recent credits and mostly internet shorts. Again, if you're going to do a movie, you might as well just fess up and say, hey, I made it. But nowadays, I see people using all kinds of other generic names that for stuff that doesn't exist. So that takes out the point for me of even just having all these different names. But it is what it is, and it's just a testament as to, you can only hide in the shadows for so long, and you want to respect people's time and energy, but other times you want to just say, hey man, just let the dominoes fall, you'll make a good name. Apparently it started out as the name Al Smith, but they thought the DGA, Directors Guild of America, thought it was just too common. And apparently surprisingly, the name that really was most noted was when Walter Hill worked on the Francis Ford Coppola produced MGM, problematic sci-fi disaster film Supernova, and he kept getting fired and then rehired on that piece of shit. And it's watchable, but it's not great. And there's a good movie in there somewhere, but it won't see the light of day because too many people worked on it. Again, too many cooks. He used the name Thomas Lee, but yeah. All I can say is everyone check out Alan Smithee movies. You'll find out instantly whether it's a load of crap or just some kind of entertaining movie. But thank you for listening. I hope I entertained you, and keep checking out just crazy cinema, guys.
We'll return after these messages.
If you like small town mystery, crazy news, and wild history, then the Florida Men on Florida Man podcast is for you. Each week, Josh Mills and Wayne McCarty bring you the absolute best Florida has to offer. So if you're looking for a show that's safe for the family, but funny enough to help you escape everyday life, then listen to the Florida Men on Florida Man podcast. That's Florida Men, plural, on Florida Man podcast.
Hey, it's Brent Pope, the host of Breakfast with Brent Pope. You've seen me on some of your favorite TV shows saying things like, give it up, Jimmy, you gotta sink this putt to win. On Breakfast with Brent Pope, I sit down with guests from the entertainment world and we do it all over breakfast. Or should I say Brentfast? Every week on Brentfast, you get inside Hollywood info and tips, great breakfast recs and foodie debates. Most of all, you get the most delightful 30 minutes of your week. So dig in, it's Brentfast time. Listen at Brentfast.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever fine podcasts are found.
Follow us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listening. It's a jacked up